Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Mr. Diambo. Thanks for clicking once again. It's pleasure. You don't know how much I'm humbled, you people. And I hope you're going to learn. This is my second tutorial on fieldwork. And today I'm going to tackle the importance of fieldwork. And just before I continue, in case you have any comment after this, watching this, or any question, any reaction, you can just leave it in my comment section. And please remember to subscribe on this channel. Remember to share it and give it a thumbs up. And God will bless you so much. Share it so that even your friends can also learn, especially this time when we are not in touch with our teachers. So, just to move to what brought us here, I'm going to tackle the importance of fieldwork today. And when we talk about the importance of fieldwork, actually, this one is more of the relevance. Why is it relevant for a student in Form 1 to take this topic of fieldwork? Why is it relevant? Why is it vital? Or why is it essential? And in my presentation, I have a couple of points of which I'm going to expand on them as I go step by step. And the first one, just to start, I would like to say that one of the importance of fieldwork to geography is that the geographers will be in a position to apply the skills they have learned in the classroom to the real life situation. Normally in the classroom, just notes taking, explanation, but students rarely get that opportunity to interact or to do practically what they have learned in classroom. So fieldwork, as you remember in my first tutorial when I was doing the introduction of this topic, we say that fieldwork is more of an activity that is done outside the classroom, whereby the geography students are in a position to use the environment as their laboratory to perform various skills they have learned in classroom. Are you together? So it gives the learners that opportunity to it hands-on, whereby you are in a position to apply whatever you have acquired from the teachers, whatever you have read from books, or whatever you have learned from any, or we can talk about internet. You now are in a position to apply them. And just to give a highlight on this, we can talk about now. You can see these people here. These people now, maybe they had planned, they were in a classroom, they were taught how to measure and how they were going to handle this project, and now they're in a position to apply whatever they learned in classroom now to a real life situation. That's what it means by applying the skills. The second one is to identify the specific problems that may require geographical investigation. Again, I will take you back to my first tutorial, and we talked about the three types of fieldwork. We talked about field excursion, we talked about field study, and we talked about field research. And just to take you back once again, when we talked about field research, we said that this is a kind of fieldwork that is geared towards a research problem solving activity, and normally it involves the use of experts and those people who are specialized in a given area so that they can identify the cause of a given problem and come up with a possible solution. So when we talk about this point here, whereby we say that the fieldwork will enable the geographers to identify specific problems that may require geographical investigation. As a geographer, you can use the what you've learned in class now to go and investigate a given problem. For example, over the recent past, you have had people die due to the landslides, the flooding. As a geographer, you can go there and investigate. For instance, the main cause of landslides there is because of the people encroaching in the land, clearing the forest covers, and then the soil becomes loose. So as a geographer, what can you do? You investigate, and most likely you are expected to come up with a solution that will help contain the situation. Are we together? Look at the situation around Lake Victoria. Lake Victoria is now swallowing the structures around it. Why? We always say that water never forgets its path. Are we together? Water never forgets its path. Now, as a geographer, let's say you are sent to such a hydrologist in this situation. You're being sent to such like an area to investigate. You investigate. Why? Most likely you come up with an observation that where the structures were constructed, at one point, this used to be covered with water. Water will never forget its path. So as a fieldwork researcher, what are some of the resolutions that you can come up with? Maybe to tell people to move a little bit far away, because if it has happened today, it means even in the near future, even the following year at the same time, it's likely for them to encounter the same challenge. Are you together? Then we talk about the third importance of study of fieldwork, that it enables the geographers to study geographical phenomena and processes such as faulting, mass wasting, so as to understand them better. In class, maybe we just draw for you the diagrams. We just talk about them, how the Rift Valley was formed, how Lake Victoria was formed through downwarping, how Mount Kenya was formed through volcanic activity. But when now you go to the environment itself, maybe you go to the Kikuyu escarpment. Are we together? Then start observing by yourself. Now you will be in a position, maybe you can meet an expert there who is in a position to explain to you how some of these things occurred. And from what you see, and then you relate with what you learned in class, you are in a position even to understand much better. You're in even a position to get a clear understanding and even come up with your own observation and conclusion. Just to add on this, another importance of fieldwork is that it enables the geographers to identify and categorize factors and features of a given geographical phenomena so as to be able to record them for use now and in the future. Today, you are using books. We are talking about features. You're talking about Mount Kenya. You're talking about the Greater Lakes. You're talking about the Rift Valley. But in real sense, these things were recorded a while ago. Even what you're using, I also used it. Even your children use it. My grandchildren use them, unless otherwise. But you realize that as when you're in field work, you are in a position to record. And when you're recording, you record them for the purpose of using them at the present and even for the future. Are we together? For future references. So fieldwork will give the geographers an opportunity now to record the observation which they can use at the moment and also for future references. Another importance is that fieldwork will enable the geographers to think and use observation skills to reason logically and make objective judgment. This is more of just you see things firsthand and you're in a position to come up with your own conclusion as a scholar. You are in a position to come up with your own conclusion without anybody influencing the decisions that you make in your mind. You are objective, you're not subjective. You make your own logical reasons as person who has learned some of these things in class. Now you're applying them in the field scenario. Another one is that it enables the geographers to use the geographical techniques such as gathering, analyzing, and presenting data so as to perfect the following skills. The first skill, an accurate oral description of what they observe. After recording some of this data in the field, you can now sit down, analyze what you have had, then come up with an accurate description of what you have. Another skill is that coherent expression of ideas. You're in a position to express your ideas. It's your freedom world. You can't see. You make your judgment without anybody influencing your decisions. Are we together? And also you have high levels of reasoning and making of independent and objective judgment. Just as I've mentioned earlier, you're in a position to judge by yourself and come up with concrete idea based on your observation. And finally, the last skill is good maintenance of human relations. You interact with people in the field, you're in a position to ask whatever happened. Maybe talking about the Rift Valley, how some of this happened. Remember I was in Lake Elementaita and we were shown the Sleeping Man Hill and the Ugali Mountain, and we are told you, as you know, Lake Elementaita, around that area we have the Maasais, and when you are fighting for independence, just to give you a story, when we were fighting for independence, it happened that there was wrangles between the Maasais and the white men. So one of the leaders of the Masais who used to give the Masais a who used to give the white men a very, very difficult time, was one day called by these white people. And when they called him, they had a plan of eliminating the guy. So when they called them, they eliminated him. And then when now the Maasai people came to inquire for their leader, there was this mountain, there was this mountain hill. They told that it resembles a human being sleeping and then beside his ugali. So they told those people that that guy was sleeping. It was very easy to believe because also when you look at them, we had two streams which are streaming from something like featured like the head, and I think it can just show you. I think I can just show you sleeping. Data. I think it's important I share this. So fieldwork is very important. Fieldwork is very important. This one here. As it loads, you can see that this thing here, it resembles like this part is like it's the head, this is the neck, and this is the leg. Are you together? Yeah. So they lied to these people that this guy was sleeping and he'd wake up, and actually it was a great lie. Yeah? It was one of the biggest lie. Anyway, that was just a by the way, but that is so. We can continue and talk about another importance that the fieldwork will enable the geographers to be familiar with the environment in which they live by training them to acquire the appropriate attitude, skills, and knowledge with which to interpret and also improve the environment. Well, this one I think is self-explanatory. You can maybe find we have a problem, maybe such as erosions and the floodings. What can you do to improve that? Maybe plant trees and whatever. Not say whatever in exam. Maybe plant trees, build gabions. Just come up with solutions to improve the environment. Also, you can draw local examples from your own interpretation and observation. From what you have learned, you can now come up with your own examples and interpret because you reason logically. We're together. And finally, is that fieldwork is in a position enables the learners to break the monotony of classroom. You go to the class, you get involved in activities. Are we together? You get involved in activities like this, what you've learned in classroom, you're now in a position to see how they're done and apply them, and most likely you are actively involved and it's rarely even to fall asleep. So ladies and gentlemen, that is the importance of fieldwork, and I thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for listening to me. I wish and I hope you're going to share this video and also gives it a thumbs up, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Let's reach a greater number of people, especially students who are at home at this moment, because we know the challenge, this problem might be here for a very long time, but we hope for the best. Anyway, I just like to end it at that point and just wait for the next tutorial whereby we're going to talk about the fieldwork procedure, and going to do it into details. I hope you have enjoyed. Thank you so much. Remember to subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and share. Thank you so much. God bless you.